10 Pixar's Luca characters as sea monsters. Pixar's Luca, the most recent movie of Disney and Pixar. A movie that's so emotional, fun, and happy that once you watch it, you automatically wish there was a second one to watch. People all around the world have loved Luca mainly because of its passionate storyline, where it shows us the value of friendship, family, and community. A movie that made the summer a little bit better with its great, colorful cinematic, amazing graphics that shocked every one of us when we saw them for the first time, like the beautiful coastal shots of the Italian Riviera, the vivid colors of the sunset, and not to forget the scene where Alberto becomes a sea fish and we see the mix of all these elements in one single scene. Just an absolutely amazing scene. Pixar's Luca basically represents how a great animated movie should be. It contains all the important elements that are needed to make a complete and flawless animated movie. A beautiful storyline that makes you understand how important some parts of life really are. It's fun, dynamic, emotional, and just like every other Pixar movie, it really carries a deep message within. Pixar's Luca first starts showing us the life of a teenager sea fish called Luca Paguro. Luca's an adventurous kid who knows and is fascinated by the surface and humans, but his parents have always told him to never approach humans because they're dangerous. But after discovering some objects from the surface at the bottom of the ocean and meeting another sea fish who actually lives on the surface called Alberto, Luca gets out of the water by having Alberto pull him out of the water and transform into a human. Here's where the beautiful and amazing adventure of the two boys Luca and Alberto start. But in Pixar's Luca, most of the characters we see don't actually have two lives as Luca and Alberto do. The characters are either sea monsters or humans in the movie. We don't see how all the characters of Luca would look like on the other side. Characters like Giulia, for example, are only seen as humans in the movie. We don't actually get to see her as a sea monster because she's not from the same species as Luca. But wouldn't it be amazing if we could actually see how these characters would look like as sea monsters? Well, this is what we're gonna be seeing here today, guys. So without further ado, let's get straight into the 10 Pixar's Luca characters as sea monsters. Let's go. One of the most important and fun characters in Luca is Giulia. Giulia, along with Alberto and Luca, is the heart of the movie. Alberto and Luca first meet Giulia when they enter the city of Portorosso looking for their dream Vespa. They're eating some ice cream and enjoying the moment when suddenly Luca sees pictures of humans hunting down sea monsters. Here, Luca gets scared and tells Alberto to get out of the town, but instantly after this, they see the main antagonist of the movie, Ercole Visconti, riding a new, beautiful, and shining red Vespa across the city of Portorosso. Then Luca accidentally hits Ercole's Vespa with a soccer ball, and here's where Ercole's animosity towards Luca and Alberto starts. He goes up to them and tells them that he's a 3-time winner of the Portorosso Cup. Then after this, he tries to drown Luca in a nearby fountain, and out of nowhere, Giulia comes to the aid of the two boys, and here's where we first see the great, powerful, and brave character of Giulia. She defends Luca and Alberto against Ercole and carries them away in her bike. Here's where the three guys first meet. She tells them that weird guys like them and her have to stay with each other at all times, and then she leaves them. But right when she's leaving, she overhears them talking about getting into the competition to get a Vespa like Ercole did. But she comes back and tells them that with the money of the cup, they will only be able to buy a used one because the money of the cup is too little. And also, they need a team of 3 people to take part in the cup because it is a triathlon. After hearing this, they try to convince Giulia to join their team and go with them to the competition, and here's where Luca and Giulia start becoming friends, except Alberto. Alberto starts getting jealous of Giulia and Luca's friendship. These 3 guys, Luca, Alberto, and Giulia, will go through amazing experiences together in the town of Portorosso to finally get their dream Vespa. Now, in Pixar's Luca, we only see Giulia as a human. We don't see her as anything else because she's not from the same species as Alberto and Luca. So even if she goes underwater, she would stay a human like me and you. The only ones who are both humans and sea monsters are Luca's species. But what if Giulia was from the same species as Luca and could actually turn into a sea monster underwater? What if she could explore the underwater world just like Luca explored the outside world? Well, this is how Giulia would actually look like if she was a sea monster. Yup, amazing, right? Just as incredible looking as all the characters of the movie. Here she's not a drawing like some drawings you see on the internet of her being a sea monster. No, it's an actual 3D animated model of how she would look like if she was a sea monster. And as we can see, she's the same person. Giulia would always be Giulia even underwater. We all know that. She has her legendary blue beanie, her orange shrimp t-shirt, and because she's a sea monster here, she has a tail. An incredible tail that has a beautiful 4-peaked end. And the obvious thing that could couldn't be missing here, her curly red hair. But instead of human hair, she has fish fins. If we compare Luca as a sea monster and Giulia as a sea monster, we would see that this 3D animation is absolutely accurate. If Enrico Casarosa ever decides to turn Giulia into a sea monster, she would look just like this, that's for sure. Ercole Visconti, the bad guy of Luca, the complete opposite of what Giulia stands for. Ercole Visconti is a pompous, braggadocious, and irritable guy who will do anything to try to hurt other people like Luca and Alberto. The two guys, Luca and Alberto, first come across Ercole Visconti when they accidentally hit his Vespa. Instantly after this, we see the kind of person that he is because one of his henchmen, Ciccio, jumps straight into the ground to save the Vespa, and Ercole only cares about the Vespa, so it's kind of clear the kind of person that he is. After Giulia confronts him and takes the guys away in her bike, a fisherman and a policewoman have a conversation about the sighting of a sea monster near the shores of Portorosso, and here the cop tells the fisherman that they have already set a reward to catch the sea monsters. Ercole hears this and goes on a full mission to catch every sea monster he finds. After this encounter, Ercole makes the lives of Luca and Alberto a living nightmare, showing up everywhere they go. In one scene where the guys go with Giulia to show them how to swim, Ercole and his friends see the two guys and decide to mess with them. Ercole tries to run over them with his boat, but Guido takes a hard turn and the water splashes on Alberto's body, exposing him as a sea monster. Thankfully, nobody sees them, but it's the same story in every scene where Ercole sees Luca and Alberto, to the point where the main reason why Alberto and Luca are discovered is because during their race, it starts raining, Alberto comes with an umbrella, and Ercole pushes him into the water, and he's discovered in front of the whole town. Luca then decides to save his friend, and he's discovered as well. Now, Ercole is fortunately not a monster in Luca. He is only a typical human like Giulia and many other characters in Luca. We can see that the water doesn't turn him into a sea monster when his friends get tired of him and throw him into the fountain. Well, if Ercole Visconti was from the same species as Luca, he would look like this. Really cool, right? We all know something. If this was the case and he was a sea monster, he would still follow Luca and Alberto underwater. So we can see from his face that he's still the same pompous guy that thinks all the world revolves around him. The way he's sitting, the way he's smiling, lets you know that Ercole is the same underwater and outside. No difference whatsoever. So as a sea monster, Ercole Visconti would have a red collar just like Luca. And if we zoom into his face, we can see that instead of the little mustache he has in the movie, here he has a little fish mustache. His nose is a fish one, and we can see that he wears the same clothes as in the surface, and obviously the beautiful tail that all of the characters in Luca have. Overall, an amazing artwork that shows us how Ercole Visconti would look like underwater. Ercole Visconti has two henchmen that he always goes with, Ciccio and Guido. These two guys do whatever Ercole tells them to do, and if they dare to even contradict something he says, they will get slapped by him. We first see these two guys when Ercole comes riding with his Vespa, and they're holding a big sandwich for him, making us see how he treats them and the kind of guys Ciccio and Guido are. Also, when Luca hits Ercole's Vespa, Ciccio throws himself without even thinking about it twice to save the Vespa of Ercole. But the worst he treats them is during the final Portorosso race, when Ercole Visconti pours an entire bottle of oil on Ciccio and makes Guido eat an entire plate of spaghetti with no mercy whatsoever. So it's obvious that there was going to be a point when the two guys were going to get tired of him and forget about him. The moment came when Luca and Alberto were discovered as sea monsters in the end, and Giulia's father defended them. The whole town welcomed them, but Ercole wasn't happy with this outcome, so he kept complaining. Here, Ciccio and Guido threw Ercole into the fountain, and they left him there forever. Now, same as Ercole, these guys are humans. They're not sea monsters. So if they got touched by water, they wouldn't turn into sea monsters. But since we're talking about what ifs here, let's see how these guys would actually look like if they were sea monsters. Just like this. Yeah, kinda weird. In the right, we have sea monster Ciccio, and in the left, we have Guido. Guido has always been the more quiet and kinda good kid in the Ercole group. Here we see him in the same way, looking kinda shy or worried, skinny and not scary at all. If he turned into a sea monster, he would look yellow and having a long fish hair in his head. And in the right, we have the complete opposite, Ciccio. Ciccio was more aggressive and braver than Guido, and we can see that in this picture as well, looking kinda sneaky and with blonde fish hair. In the case of Ciccio, he would look brown as a sea monster. Really cool artwork. And well, my guys, that's all the dose of DJ there is for today. I really hope you liked this video and liked all of this amazing fan art about the characters in Luca. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one, my guys. Peace!